Good morning, everyone. My name is Leontis, and welcome to this yoga video. I'm gearing this towards a morning practice, something you can do first thing in the morning. It's going to be on the shorter side, on the gentler side, just something to sort of wake up your body and get moving for the day. If you are a singer, this is a great way to warm up the body to prepare to practice or on a performance day, etc. So this is a nice, accessible sequence. It should be accessible to everyone, no matter your yoga level experience or your body shape or your age or your gender or any of those things. So just really accessible, and the most important thing to remember is always to listen to your own body. So only stretch as far as feels good, especially in the morning if you've just woken up. So just take it gentle and listen to what your body is asking for. So to start this morning, we are going to find a comfortable seated position. You can be cross-legged. If you want to have one or both legs out, that's great. You can also sit up on your knees, whatever is going to be the most comfortable for you in this moment. So once you've found your chosen position, just lay your hands down in your lap and begin by closing your eyes. And we're going to begin breathing in and out through the nose. In yoga, we tend to breathe in and out through the nose for the most part, and this allows us to slow our breath down and also get a deeper, more conscientious breath. So begin breathing in and out through the nose as long as you're not stuffed up. And right away, start to lengthen both the inhale and the exhale. And we're going to start with a breathing exercise to bring our attention to our breath and to make sure that we are slowing it down and making it as full as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale to a count of 4, hold for 1 count, and then exhale for a count of 4. And as you do this, see if you can send your breath all the way down into your belly, feeling your belly expand. Along the way, you'll feel your ribs expand. And we just want this breath to be really low and deep. And then as you exhale, you'll feel the belly coming back in, ribs coming back down as the breath exhales out through the nose. So to begin, inhaling down through the nose all the way to the belly for 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, and out, 2, 3, 4, pause. In, 2, 3, 4, pause. Out, 2, 3, 4, pause. In, 2, 3, 4, pause. Out, 2, 3, 4, pause. Inhale, keep this pace going to your own count in your head. And as you do so, really feel what is moving in your body. Notice your belly expanding on that inhale and then collapsing on the exhale. Notice the ribs opening, expanding out to the side and up on the inhale, and then coming back down on the exhale. Keep this going for a few more breaths. And this deep breath in and out through the nose is what we're going to want to keep doing as we move forward through our sequence this morning. So see if you can keep this attention to your breath. I'll remind you also. See if you can keep it in mind and keep that really full, slow breath going. And this is going to help us stay in the present moment. It's going to help us as we move from pose to pose. And it really helps us regulate our nervous system, helps us connect our mind and our body. All right. And if you would like to set an intention for your day, this is a wonderful time to do so. So maybe if you want to bring to mind a person that you want to send some love to today, or if you want to bring to mind a goal for the day, anything like that, anything that's going to uplift you and focus you and bring some light into your life, just call that to mind right now. Being mindful is a great way to live more consciously, live more fully. So by bringing to mind an intention in the morning, we can really start our day off in a great way. All right, gently begin to open the eyes. If you're sitting on your knees, come down to a cross-legged position. And we're going to begin by inhaling the arms overhead. And then exhale, bring them down through center. Inhale, reach them out and up. Exhale, brings them down. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, down. Great. Now bring the hands to the knees, and we're going to take some circles here with our torso. As you inhale, reach around to the front, and then on the exhale, around to the back. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Use your breath to explore this. We are waking up our spine, bringing some motion into the body after our time sleeping. And when you're ready, switch directions. You can go pretty slow here, making as big circles as you can. Great. And then come back up and take a nice big breath in and exhale it out. Great. We're going to come onto all fours now. So setting up for a tabletop, we want our shoulders directly above our wrists, and then our hips directly above our knees. And we're going to go through some cat-cow poses. So on the inhale, raise your chin and your tail up. Exhale, round the spine, look back towards your feet. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, round. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, round. Great. Now come back to your neutral spine and we're going to take it side to side. So look over one shoulder and then the other. So we're sort of wagging our tail here. One shoulder and the other, exploring the different ways our spine can move. And when you're ready, you can start to take some full circles. You can go backwards, forwards. Just close your eyes and do a little freestyle here. So whatever positions are calling to you, go ahead and take them. Really get curious about all the different shapes your body can take here. It's really important to move our spine every single day in order to keep it healthy. Great. Okay, come back to neutral spine, tabletop. Make sure that all 10 fingers are spread nice and wide. So you want your hands to be nice and spread, all giving yourself a nice solid foundation here. All right, so we're going to do a few minutes of a core waking up. So take your right leg, extend it back behind you. Toes are flexed and pointed down. Foot is flexed, toes pointed down rather. And you want to be kicking really strongly through that heel. So it's like you're stamping your foot on the wall behind you. You can stay here. If you want, you can add left arm reaching ahead of you. Now you want to be engaging in the belly, so you don't want to be slouching down through your belly. You want to keep it nice and engaged. And you want to imagine like you're being pulled in these two opposite directions. A couple more breaths here. And then set that foot and hand down. Let's take the left foot, reaching back now, reaching really strongly through that left heel. Toes are pointed down, foot is flexed. And if you want, you can add right arm reaching down. Core is engaged up. You're engaging your belly up towards the spine so that you don't end up slouching down through the back. And breathing here, a few more breaths, beginning to wake up our body. Great, and then gently set that down. Now send your knees wide, hips back. We will come down to a child's pose. Reaching the arms ahead of you, forehead comes to the mat. And you will feel some hip opening happening in this pose. So be kind of gentle here. If you just rolled out of bed, this might be a lot for your hips, but just beginning to open the hips a bit. You can kind of rock side to side here a little bit. Great. Okay. So walk yourself back up, and we're going to transition into a downward dog from our tabletop. So make sure your hands are about shoulder width apart. All 10 fingers are still spread really, really wide. So that's your firm foundation underneath your arms. And now we're going to take our toes, curl them under, and begin to press up and back with our hips. So our feet are hip width apart, and they are parallel to each other. And we're pressing down through the hands and up through the hips. And since this is our first downward dog of the day, come up on your tippy toes, bend your knees a lot. Just kind of pedal out your feet. And eventually, we will be sending our heels down towards the ground. Great. Okay. Bend the knees, look towards your hands, and gently walk your way up to your hands. And then let's release down into a forward fold here. So feet are hip width apart. Your knees can be bent any amount. Clasp opposite elbows. And just release your head and neck with a little shake here. Breathing in our forward fold. And then release the hands. We're going to slowly roll all the way up. Reach the arms overhead. And exhale them down. All right. While we are standing, we're going to get into our shoulder sockets a bit, warm up the upper half of our body. So to begin, I'm going to start by giving ourselves some hugs here. So alternating which arm is on top. And a little affirmation you can do with this one is, I love me, I love me, I love me. Nice words for the morning. Good. So beginning to loosen up our shoulder joints here, shoulder sockets. Good. Okay, next, take your hands out to a T. We're going to start with some very small circles going forwards. So as small as you can make them. And then gradually the circles get bigger and bigger until finally they are as big as they can be. So exploring that full range of motion of the shoulders. You might be a little bit crackly in here. That's okay. We are getting into our fascia, loosening it up. And switch directions backwards, starting with as big circles as you can make. And then we'll begin to gradually make them a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller until they are really, really, really small. Great. Okay, now we have a brain teaser. Take your arms back up overhead, and now see if you can do one arm going forward, one arm going backward. This is a nice challenge for the morning. Good. And then see if you can go the other direction. Good. And let it go. Shake it out. All right. And one more shoulder stretch while we are up here. Take that right arm up, bend it at the elbow, reach for the elbow. This is a great place to be. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, take your left hand, thumb down, reach it around, and see if you can clasp fingers. If you can't and you're like this, that's totally fine. You're still getting a nice stretch. If you can, connect your fingers in the back. Great. And this one we hold for a few breaths. This is a really, really wonderful way to open up this area. You're going to start feeling a little bit of tingling in the right upper arm. That's totally fine. You're just getting some extra blood flow there. Those muscles are warming up. A couple more breaths here. This is a great way to alleviate any slouching habits. If you do a lot of typing, especially these days, this is a great counter stretch for that. All right, slowly release. And shake it out. Oh, that one always feels so good. All right, and we'll take the second side. So left arm goes up, bend at the elbow. Take that elbow with the right fingers, or send your right arm around, reaching for the fingers behind your back. Wherever you are, breathe. Checking in with your breath here. Are you still breathing in and out through the nose? Are you still sending your breath all the way down low? Good. One more deep breath. Fill up all the way. And then slowly release. Great. All right. Come back to the top of your mat. Feet are hip width apart. Reaching the arms up and overhead. Fold all the way down. You can have your knees bent a little bit. And we are going to step to a low lunge position. So step your right foot back, bringing the knee down. If your knee is sensitive, you can fold your mat under or put a blanket underneath that knee. And we're going to come to a low lunge here. So your front left knee is at a right angle, and we are getting a stretch in the right hip here. So keep the hands on the knees, or take them up and over. Breathing here. Now take the hands down to the mat. Shift your hips backwards and straighten this left leg. Doesn't need to be all the way straight. I would keep a little bend in it. But now we are stretching into the back of this left leg. Take a couple breaths here, feeling this nice stretch. And then slowly walk your hands, shift your hips forward again. Set your hands down, curl the back toes under. See if you can step right to your downward dog. So the hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart. We're pressing down strongly through both hands, pushing the hips up towards the ceiling. Knees can be a little bent, and the heels are making their way towards the mat. Mine have never gotten there. I don't think they ever will. That's totally fine. All right. On your next inhale, step your right foot forward this time. Left knee comes down, setting up for the low lunge on the second side. So we're bending into a right angle with this front knee. And you can inhale the arms up or keep them on your knee. Wherever you are, breathe. You may notice that one hip is tighter than the other. This is very common. We are not totally symmetrical. So if one hip is tighter than the other, just kind of notice it. And the good thing about yoga is that by stretching and going through your yoga practice every day, you will begin to maybe get a little bit more symmetrical between your two sides, but it's totally normal for one side to be looser than the other. Okay, take your hands down to the mat, shift hips back, bring this front leg not totally straight, but getting there. Straightening it until you feel that stretch the back of this right leg. Breathing into that stretch. All right, shifting back forward, curl your toes under. We're going to step to downward dog one more time. 3 breaths here, now that you're a little more familiar with this pose. 3rd downward dog of the day. And now shift forward to a plank position, push-up position, pause here, and then slowly lower down to your belly. All right. We're going to do one gentle back bend here just to kind of open up that part of the body. So we're going to come to a Sphinx pose. You're going to hug your elbows in. Your forearms are parallel to each other. All 10 fingers spread nice and wide. And we're pressing down into the forearms and just looking straight ahead. So you look sort of like a Sphinx statue in this pose. Breathing here for a few breaths. Great. And then elbows out to the side. Rest your head down to the mat. And now we're going to curl the toes under. We're going to press back to child's pose. Hips are sinking down to the heels. Your hips might be a tiny bit more open now than they were when we first did this posture. Couple breaths here, sending breath into the low back. And then begin to walk yourself up to a seat. We're going to take our legs out in front of us. So we're sitting up nice and tall here. If you need to move the flesh of your butt out of the way, get your sit bones on the mat. And you want to be extending through the crown of the head so the spine is nice and tall here. And then inhale, reach your arms overhead. Fold forward, hinge as far forward as you can. When you reach a stopping point, for me it's about right here, just bring your hands down wherever they fall. And breathe here in your forward fold. So we're feeling a nice stretch along the backs of both legs here. checking in with the breath, making sure it's still nice and full, in and out through the nose. And then slowly come back up, and we're going to transition all the way down to the back. So laying down onto the mat, hug your knees in, give them a squeeze. And we're going to take a figure 4 hip opener here. So take both feet to the mat. Take your left foot, you're going to flex that foot and cross the ankle over the right knee. You can stay here. This is a great place to stay and breathe. If you want to go a little deeper, begin to pick the right foot up off the ground. You can reach through and grab the back of the right thigh. As we breathe here, you want to be drawing the right knee towards you as you push the left knee away from you. This will deepen this hip opener. Few breaths here. And slowly release the right foot back to the mat. Uncross your leg and take it to the other side. Right ankle crosses over left knee. Stay here or begin to pick that left leg off the ground and drawing the left knee towards you, right knee away. See if you can keep your mind in the moment. Try not to let yourself wander to your to-do list for the day or what you're going to eat for breakfast or whatever else might be coming to mind right about now. See if you can stay in the moment with the breath. And then gently release left foot down, uncross, and we will take it to a supine twist for our final pose. So bring the right leg in, right knee in, left leg extends long, and gradually you're going to cross this right knee across your body, right arm extends out to the side, and we breathe here in our twist. Beginning to release down into the mat with every exhale. Feel gravity deepening this pose as you sink down. And then slowly come back, hug both knees in, and then extend right leg long, left knee crosses the body, left arm extends out to the side. And then slowly come back to center. Give yourself one last hug of the knees, rocking back and forth a bit. And we will do a Shavasana to let this practice sink in. So coming down all the way to the ground, letting the feet release out to the side, hands or palms up. taking a few last deep breaths and then letting your breath return to normal. And now beginning to bring a little movement to your body, wiggling the toes and fingers. And then extend the arms overhead. Give yourself a big whole body stretch here. And then hug the knees back in. Slowly roll to one side, pausing in the fetal position. And then begin to push yourself up to a seat and keep your eyes closed. And take a nice deep breath. Call to mind once again your intention for your day. And bringing the hands to the heart, we will close with one Om together, breathing fully through the nose. Namaste. Thanks for joining me this morning. I hope you have a great day and hope to see you again soon. Bye.